Hi, everyone, and welcome to this course on Studio One Workflow Essentials. My name is Alex Solano, and I'll be guiding you through this course. The main objective of this course is not to show you all the basics of Studio One. However, I'm going to try my best to show you some practical applications on speeding up your workflow in Studio One. If you're like me, you've probably used a different DAW. And if you're coming from Pro Tools, then it's even a plus because I came from a Pro Tools background myself. In addition to Pro Tools, I have experience with Reaper, Reason, Sonar, Cubase, Ableton Live, and MPC software. And these are all great DAWs. But what I like about Studio One is the ease of use, workflow for editing, organizing your files, and for mixing, which is the main thing that I do. So let's jump into our first lesson. In this first video, we're going to take a look at how to properly import files and understanding where they go. So here I have the Studio One splash screen loaded, and it's pretty basic. On the left, I have my recent files. These are projects that I've been working on. In the middle, I have my artist profile icon. This is a picture from my company, Pulsating Waves. And on the right, I have the news feed. If there's a Studio One update, that will be indicated. Usually at the top, there's a call to action to update Studio One. Or you can manually check for updates by clicking on this button right here. Before we jump in, let's take a look at our preferences. So for this, you're going to open up Studio One Preferences. And I want to make sure that you guys have this enabled. You're going to go to Locations. And here at the bottom, you're going to make sure that this is checked. It's called Ask to Copy External Files when saving a song. And I'll show you why in a minute. And that's it. Just click OK. So let's go ahead and create a new session and import some files and figure out where they're actually going. All right, so we're going to create a new song. I'm going to call it hip hop. Choose my sample rate. This is just a matter of preference. I'm going to use 48 kilohertz, 32-bit floating point. I'm going to set it to bars. And I know the BPM is 132, so I've already set that up. Stretch audio files to song tempo. I'm going to leave that off because I don't want to do any time stretching on the audio. And play overlaps, I want to leave that off as well. All right, so I'm going to click OK. And there's my session. I have the browse, which I can access instruments, effects, loops, files, cloud, and pool. And because I'm going to click and drag files from my desktop, I'm going to choose files. Okay, so this is going to show me the desktop. And there's this folder here called Arab 1. I'm going to click and drag all the blue tracks that are indicated by this icon and by the name called Wave, which is a WAV file. I'm going to click and drag those to the timeline, hide the browse, and there's my song. These are all the files. Let's turn the volume down first and let's hit play. If I want to loop this section like a 4-bar loop, then I'm just going to hover my mouse over the timeline, click and drag from right to left. I can enable loop by clicking on the timeline there, or I can enable loop by clicking on the loop button right there. I can also hear the metronome, and everything is in time. Okay, good. We'll stop that right there. Now at this point, if I go up to Browse, then I go to Pool, I see that these files that I've dragged into the timeline are actually in the pool, but they're grayed out. That means that they're being accessed externally. These files don't live on the song project. So let me show you what that looks like. Here we have a view of what's on our desktop, and these are the Arab 1 files. These are the hip hop files that we brought in. And if we go to Songs, Hip Hop Demo, you're going to see that there's no media folder. All right. If I go to another song, you're going to see that there's a media folder. That means that there's actual audio files copied into the session. But on the hip hop demo, there isn't. And the reason for that is because on the preferences, we chose Ask to Copy External Files when saving a song. That's what we selected. So if I hit save, if I use Command S to save, it's going to ask me, do you want to copy these files to the media folder? And then it's going to copy them over. But we're not going to do that just yet. So we're going to click no, close the browse, and I want to draw your attention to one more thing. If I expand the track name, you're going to see that the track name is reflecting the file name. So in this case, this first track is called Arab Kit 1 Demo, Track 2 Bill's Program Instrument Trap. And even though that's, accurate to the source, it's not really giving me any information that I want. I want to know if that's a kick, snare, claps, hi-hat, melody, and whatnot. So in this next video, I'm going to show you how to properly label your tracks and how to get that track name reflected back on the audio events.